everybody, and welcome to Hallmarkies podcast. I'm Amber, and Rachel's here. And today we are doing something for the second time, which is Amber makes Rachel watch. And this week we are making Rachel watch Eureka, a show that was on Sci-Fi Channel for 5 seasons. It follows the adventures of a everyman town sheriff in a crazy scientific community. So let's see what Rachel thought. Rachel.
Yeah. So was this like a favorite show of yours? I know Dawson's Creek obviously was very formative. But...
Yes, Dawson's Creek was very formative. And then I feel like Eureka is something that I watched a lot with my mom. Okay. Basically everything I watch with my mom. But we just really loved it. We thought it was so funny. It was pretty clever. There wasn't a ton of sci-fi fare on TV at that time. At least I don't think that there was a ton. So it was kind of different, and we really liked that there's always something that they have to figure out in each episode. It really sticks with the freak of the week scenario. So it's, it's a basic cop show with its, we got to solve this crime before the end of the episode, but also it's so much more.
Cool. Yeah. So it was really fun. I had never even heard of it before. You had mentioned it a couple times over different podcasts talking about casting.
Yeah. So what, you didn't know anything about the show before watching?
I didn't know anything about the show except for you had mentioned, so-and-so's in Eureka, so-and-so's in Eureka.
Yeah. It's basically populated with everyone from Hallmark. It's very Canadian.
Yeah. I was very excited to watch the show. And I did record my thoughts.
All right. So let's see what you said before.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So I am about to start my next entry in Amber Makes Rachel Watch. And this time, the people on Twitter, and she picked for me to watch the show Eureka. And I don't know really much of anything about this show. I know it's a sci-fi show, but that it has some humor. I think it's about a town of like special people, geniuses, stuff like that. That Colin Ferguson is like a sheriff of or something like that. I just know the tiniest little bit. I don't know if it'll have sort of Chronicle vibe or if it'll be more sort of, I don't know. I did watch one trailer and it looked more sort of, almost more like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of vibe. So I don't know, maybe something more like that or Supergirl. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Supergirl in the trailer. But yeah, we'll see. I really don't have any sort of expectations going into this, negative or positive. We'll see. I'm not like the biggest sci-fi fantasy fan in general. Like it needs to be funny or sort of entertain me in some other way. We'll see, because sometimes those kind of things can be boring for me. But yeah, I'm always have an open mind and I'm excited to give it a shot. So we will see.
All right, Rachel. So you gave it a shot. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how entertained actually, before we do that, how many episodes did you end up watching?
Just 2. I stuck to the 2 this time.
Okay, so the pilot and just the second episode, correct? That would be 2. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how entertained were you?
I would say it was like, I'd give it like a 7. 6, 7. I'll give it a 7.
Okay. That's pretty high. Way to go, Eureka. And who was your favorite character?
I think Colin Ferguson's character was my favorite character. He's charming. He's an actor. And I felt like this, and I don't know if you will agree at all, just from these first 2 episodes, it kind of had, to me, sort of felt like a cross between Men in Black and Doctor Who.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of element to it. As you get later on in the series, the other side characters are more developed. And I think one of the things that I really love about this show is I love when shows have like minor characters who come back all the time, just like for one-offs. And they really recycle their characters a lot, which I appreciate, even if they're not like main characters or recurring characters. They'll just put somebody in the background. But Colin Ferguson is incredible. And I don't even know if you get to see how amazing he is in the first 2 episodes, but he does such this show is 95% Colin Ferguson just being amazing.
Mm.
So good favorite character. Jack Carter.
Okay.
All right, and then who was your least favorite character? I think I'm gonna have a good guess.
I had 2 least favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
One was his daughter.
Yeah.
That was not my favorite. She was pretty annoying. And also, I wasn't a huge fan of the female sheriff. I didn't write down her name.
Jo.
Yeah, she wasn't my favorite. She was kind of nagging, and I don't know. I just didn't love her. I didn't warm up to her real quick. Maybe as the series goes on.
Yeah, she told that they have a fun dynamic later on, Jo and Carter. And then were you, I guess we can talk about this in the next one, but I think even all of the character, I don't know if there's any character that you don't like towards the end, or at least I don't. Because I feel like all of the characters
so the
grow
teenage daughter comes around.
Mm-hmm.
She was definitely the most annoying, but she's a teenager. She's kind of supposed to be.
Yeah. So what surprised you about this show?
I was surprised at how diverse the cast was. That was fun.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like that was like, oh, diversity for diversity's sake. It felt like it was one of those shows where it's just like, whoever's best for the character, that's who we're putting in.
Yeah, I agree. That was nice.
Next question I have for you is, what was your favorite moment?
When Susan comes back and they just had her funeral.
Mm-hmm.
She's not dead and never had a child, and that whole plot line was pretty good. Interesting, this woman like being presented with the fact that not only was she supposedly dead, but she had a child that she had no memory of at all. So that was kind of interesting, like and like everybody like dealing with the fact that here's this person that they know who's like totally different, than this warm, nurturing woman that they had known. So I thought, that's just kind of an interesting concept. Like, if you woke up tomorrow and everybody was saying, like, this is your 12-year-old child, you'd be like, what? Like, yeah. I thought that was kind of interesting. So
it really is interesting. And I'm not going to say that that's kind of funny that that's how the show began, but it's kind of funny that that's how the show began, considering what happens later.
Interesting.
What was your least favorite moment?
Oh, just anytime that the teenager was complaining. and I think one of the other characters had a teenage son, and he was really complaining. I'm like, oh no, I wrote down in my notes, high annoying teenager quotient.
I don't even know if there's another teenager, but Zoe handles the teenager annoying quotient enough at the beginning, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what her character's supposed to do, so it's like not her fault. I mean, it's her fault, but it's not the actress's fault.
Yeah.
And then what do you think is going to happen with the rest of the show? Spoiler alert, you're not going to be right.
I don't know. I kind of wonder if it will be kind of like sort of Doctor Who, kind of like where each episode there's sort of a weird supernatural kind of event that they have to sort of solve and make everything right, kind of a thing. I won't be going back in time, like I assume, like Doctor Who, but that's kind of what I was thinking, that maybe it will be sort of like I said, Men in Black mixed with Doctor Who.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think something interesting about that show is it doesn't really get stale. And even when there's plot lines that start to get a little bit too whatever, all of a sudden shenanigans happen and everything's different. And you're like, oh, okay. It's amazing. I really love the show. Okay.
Yeah.
And so the last question I have for you, Rachel, is, are you going to keep watching?
I'm open to it if I have the time. If I find the time to watch more shows. Yeah, I would definitely be open to watching more. It's a maybe. I would say it's a solid maybe. You
guys could definitely force her to watch more. I'm going to be setting up a new poll for finding out what we should make Rachel watch next. And it'll be exciting. It might be more Eureka. I just finished rewatching it since Rachel watched these episodes. So I'm way faster at TV than Rachel. Anyway, also, if you have any suggestions of TV shows that we should make Rachel watch, or if you think that there's a TV show that I haven't watched, put it in the comments. We'll see. Okay, and so, ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's episode of Amber Makes Rachel Watch. Rachel, where can people find you?
You can find me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. So check that out. I think you'll really enjoy my channel.
All right. And make sure that you're following us at Hallmarkies Pod on Instagram, Twitter, social media, wherever other social medias are performed. Follow us on Stitcher, iTunes, wherever anywhere else podcasts are. Follow us on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. And as always, I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
Yeah, thanks so much. This was a lot of fun to watch the show.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.